Yeah, hi friends. In this second video on Caro, let us look at the points. Right. See, there are totally 16 points in this Caro. 2016 has 16 points. Okay, right. Fine. Out of these 16 points, these are obviously very good points. Much improved compared to 2013, 2015, actually. Right. And there are obviously further improvements are there in 2020 Caro also. Yes. But anyhow, that video I will be making it little later after this November exam. See, that is for me attempt. Right. Now let's come to the 16 points. When it comes to 16 points, whether ITER has to report under every circumstance. Every circumstance means whether it is good or bad. I mean, it's favorable situation, unfavorable. What do you mean by favorable, sir? Favorable means whatever Caro says, say example, first point itself it says fixed asset register, a proper fixed asset register is maintained or not, ITER has to report. Okay. Say my company is maintaining proper fixed asset register. Yes, then ITER should say, yes, the company is maintaining. It is not only for negative points. Yeah, try to compare it with section 143 of Companies Act. Under section 143, you have got totally 6 points. Okay, those 6 points, you remember, like personal expenditure, loans and advances given to those parties, correct, without security, any prejudicial norms, loans and advances are not equal to deposits, shares issued for cash other than cash, whether for cash as the cash has received correctly, has it been accounted. See, with respect to these 6 points, under 143 subsection 1, ITER has to comment only when there is negative point. Means suppose personal expenditure is booked, that is wrong. Then ITER will say in his report, personal expenditure is booked here. Got my point? Right. But with respect to Caro, it is not like that. Whether it is a positive answer or negative answer, ITER has to report in his Caro. Hope you understood. That's why I say, yes, ITER should comment whether his findings are favorable or unfavorable. Okay, that is point. Next, see, all the 16 points, see, development will be there. Suppose, yes, a government will find out some mistakes in some companies. Maybe that must have come out because there was a scam in it. Correct, no? There may be a fraud in it. Then government also will realize, oh, this is, we have not asked the auditor to check it. That's why he did not check it. So let us make it as a point of Caro. Then auditor is going to verify this. And it will be useful to the readers of financial statements. Hope you understand. Yeah, it's because of the experience of the government also, government will be adding points and points. Anyhow, the Caro 2016 is very good. 2020 is much further actually beneficial. So because of some recent scams, that developments have happened. Right, doesn't matter. Let us we are here for learning the Caro 2016. Let us complete it. Okay. Now, first point, what I says. First point is talking about fixed assets. Yeah. See, most of you may be articles. Agree. So if you are, when your articles, right, with respect to fixed assets, if you want to answer Caro points, let us see what all given by them. Are we really checking in this fashion? Yeah, try to understand. I will try to give whatever is possible from my side. Yeah, please have patience, listen, and link it with your practical things. Then you will obviously remember for longer time. Okay, right. The first point it says under fixed assets, point A. Okay, what it says, whether the company is maintaining proper records showing full particulars. Yeah, first of all, what is it? They're maintaining proper record. Proper record is what they say. What do you mean by proper? Yeah, do you have a proper fixed asset register? Yeah, what do you mean by proper? Proper means every data is available. Okay, with respect to fixed asset, every data means, yeah, if you, some of you have seen that fixed asset register, can you just recall from your side? Right, what will be the, how many columns will be there, what are the columns, name the columns at least. Yeah, suppose I bought a car is a fixed asset. Yeah, what do you write? Yeah, in this case, I already had it, not just I bought it. I have the car. Fine. So now what will be there? First car. Which car? Sir, Maruti car, sir. Okay, tell no Maruti car. If possible, tell the number of the car, na? Right? You mention, no, this is car number is so and so. Correct, na? Then I can identify very clearly. Fine. When did you buy? Yes, year of purchase, date of purchase. Why required, sir? If you know the date of purchase, then only they must have computed the depreciation correctly, na? Correct. Next word, what is the cost of it? Okay, any addition, correct. Next, car, where is it classified? Where is it classified means, yes, it is classified under motor vehicles. Yes, correct, right? See, we purchase some machine, yeah, that must be going to plant and machinery classification, right? Have you classified it correctly or not? That is more important. Next, what is any additions to the car in the current year? No. Okay, no problem. Right, what is the accumulated depreciation? Opening accumulated depreciation. Got it? Opening accumulated depreciation, something is there that we should. And what is the current year depreciation? Is there any impairment? Yeah, you should have a column. Is there any revalue? If you are following revaluation model as per accounting standard 10, revaluation. Right. Next, see if it is a car, no problem. Suppose one computer, this is calculator I know. Okay, this is one computer, assume. Yeah, see, my company has purchased 10,000 computers like this. I have not bought all computers in one lot. Yeah, in yearly, first year I bought 500. Next year, a company is growing. I need another 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, something like that. Totally, as on the balance sheet date, I have 10,000 computers. Correct. But how do I know whether first 10,000 computers are there is first issue. Where are these computers? Computers is movable. Correct, na? So first, what are you supposed to do? First, you should ask, sir, have you given any number, unique number for each computer? Yeah, I'm giving one computer to Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, I'm giving. Correct, now, which computer is in whose hand? Who's responsible for this? Right? So have you given any unique number? Yes, sir, I have given. It is with whom? Correct, now. Do you have the data? If not in the fixed register, you should be having it. Why, sir? Suppose one computer became old. Okay, you wanted to sell it off. Sell, no problem. Right? Suppose I bought this for 100 long ago. 100 means whatever number you take it. Correct? 100 rupees I bought it. Right? In 100 rupees it has become 40 rupees now after depreciation. That is carrying amount we say. Now I sold it for 60 rupees. Now there is a profit of 20. Correct? But out of 10,000 computers, which one you sold? Sir, this is Dell computer, sir. Correct, yeah, Dell computer, 2,000 computers are there with me. Out of 2,000, E2000 is bought we bought it in 10 different lots. Then how do you calculate? What is the first, how do you identify? That is what unique number if you had given. Then I can say, यहाँ पे number 9,353. Let's go to register 9,353. Yeah, what is the carrying amount? Yes. Sold for what? Yes. Then you can determine the correct profit or loss. Correct? Everything can be found. If you want to do impairment of something, if you want to revaluation of something, correct? Everywhere it's very clear identification is required. You have a register only for data of acquisition, only accumulated depreciation and cost of it. I don't think so. That is a proper register. Yeah, next. Okay, sir, I have furniture, I have chair, I have table, I have something, correct? No, yes. Where is it first? Where is the location of it? You need to know. Correct, no? Yeah, if you don't know location, then how can you track it, all those things? That's what a proper fixed asset register should have, all these items, my dear. Right? That's what it says. What? Yes, let's read the sentence once again. Whether the company is maintaining proper records showing full particulars, including quantitative details and situation of fixed assets. Situation means location. Where is the asset? Yeah, you have got one projector. Where is it? Sir, building A it is, sir. Okay, fine, at least understood. Yeah, I have 10 buildings, sir. Yes, multinational companies are there. Different countries may you have assets. Where is it first? You need to know that. So your fixed register should have that data. Quantitative details is what something next is saying. What is quantitative details? How many you have? In lot number 1, I purchased 500 computers. Say 500. I purchased 1000 chairs. Right now say 1000. I purchased 2 machines. Right now 2 machine. Then that will be useful to you. Got it? Right. So that's why, what do you mean by this is given by ICAI guidance. Fixed asset register should contain asset description, then original cost, at what rate you bought it, year of purchase or date of purchase you take it, location, right, and classification. Right, classification, either plant and machinery, land and building. What is the classification? Motor, vehicle, or software, or whatever it is. Right. Next, depreciation in the current year. What is accumulated depreciation? Is there any revaluation? Is there any impairment loss, etc.? What all again you are supposed to read. Quantity also will come, obviously. All this data should be part of your fixed asset register. Maybe your client is maintaining in Excel. It doesn't matter. But does he has a column for all these things? If yes, it is a proper fixed asset register. If they are not able to track what is there in the books, what is there in the physically, then it is not. I have seen one company. We have got this assignment long ago, not recently. That is a listed company. Okay, something golmal happened. Later we got some assignment saying what? You find out which asset is where. Identify the asset, please mark it, and prepare one proper fixed asset register. For that we charged. That's the work, basically we got it. Means so many years old company, but still they don't have fixed asset register. If the order is strict, then they will ensure that everything will happen in line. Got it? Next, fixed assets. Within fixed assets, whether the fixed assets have been physically verified at reasonable intervals by the management. Right. Okay. Here first point, and next, if there any whether all material discrepancies have been properly dealt with. What do you mean by that, sir? First we'll see first point. What it says, physical verification of fixed asset. Is it done? First, physical verification of fixed asset is whose duty? First, whose duty this is? Auditor duty or management duty? Purely management duty, not auditor duty. Right, sir, when they are doing it, auditor should be there? Not necessary. So who can do it? We said management should do it. Management will delegate this work to below level. Correct, na? Yes, internal auditor may participate. Anybody can participate. Employee of the companies only can participate. They can ask some outside agency, sir, please come and do it. Yeah, we can do. Statutory auditor need not be present. If he wants to be present, let him present. That's not a problem. But it is not mandatory for statutory auditor to be there. Got it? Right, just a second. Yeah, so it is not mandatory for the auditor to be physically present. Okay, fine. Now whether all right, next. How long, when should I do this? When should I do this? How frequent, reasonable interval it's at. Reasonable interval means once in a year, 2 years once, 3 years once. Correct. Now what is reasonable gap between one physical verification to another physical verification? Yeah, ICAI says, as per the ICAI guidance, okay, they say at least one time in 3 years. Yeah, some companies, small companies may do it like every year once also they'll do it. It's not a problem. Very big companies, it becomes not that easy. Okay, doesn't matter. Whatever they say, correct. Now, what is the ICAI answer? At least once in 3 years. At least once in 3 years you have to get it done. Okay, done. Now next point, whether all material discrepancies have been properly dealt in the books. What do you mean by this? Let me explain that, then I'll take a note of it. Other points. Right. All material discrepancy. What is material discrepancy? Sir, fixed asset is there in the books, sir, but physically disappeared, sir. Okay. Sir, fixed asset is there in the books, sir. Like how much is the worth here? Sir, it is equal to 10 lakh rupees, sir. Net carrying amount is 10 lakh rupees. Where is it? Sir, it is in some godown, sir. One scrap we kept, sir. That means what? That asset is not working. When asset is not working means right of man, my dear. Asset is held for sale. It is not in active use. Look at accounting standard 10. Right, what are you supposed to do? Account it as per what? Account it either at NRV or WDV, that is carrying amount. Carrying amount or NRV, whichever is lower. Yes, and the remaining loss or profit, loss only will be there. Loss should be charged to P&L because it is not in use. You kept it aside. If you sell, how much will you'll get? Sir, 2000 will come, sir, on kg basis. Fine. Then, but how 10 lakh rupees there in the books? Remaining, you charge it off to P&L. Yeah, application of accounting standard. You have to do it. Correct. Now, so when asset is missing, sir, it is not there. Why missed? What missed? Management will do later. Yeah, management has to do it. But being an auditor, what should you do? It is not. You're not able to find it out. Now, first remove it from the books. Knock off accumulated depreciation and the carrying amount, remaining money should be charged to P&L. Correct. Now remove it from the books. Why are you keeping? When asset is physically doesn't exist, asset then when the asset is only not in your hand, when there is no control over the asset, then why do you want to keep it in books? It should not be there. Got it? Like that you are supposed to. That's what material discrepancies have been properly dealt in the books. Means have you accounted for properly? That is important. Next. Right, look at, I told you already, it's a management duty. Management means management only will go and do it. No, they will can give it to outside agencies. Their employees can do it. Internal auditor can participate, or they may appoint one more auditor, one more chartered accountant to get this job done. Yes, that is that one. Auditor may observe this, you observe first. Auditor may observe. It's not auditor shall observe. It's not mandatory for the auditor to be present when physical verification is going on. Then next, right? And it's because you are not there physically, you are not present. Correct. Then what do you say? You can ask for one representation letter. Yeah, management in WRL, written representation letter by the management. They will mention on so date, our employees have done physical verification. These are the discrepancies. These have been dealt properly. Rest of the things we found perfectly in place or in good condition, something like that. They will write one letter. In that representation, generally what you get a representation letter under WSA 580. Correct? Na? There one point should also be mentioned. Okay, remember this. Such kind of points only will be together like 580 it will become. Okay, maybe in few days I will just a small standard. SA 580 is not a big standard. I think hardly some half an hour it will take. I'll release them in that video. Okay, right. So for confirming verification regarding the discrepancies, that is one important point. Next, third bit. Whether the title deeds of immovable properties are held in the name of the company. Yeah, got it? Whether the title deeds of immovable properties are held in the name of company. First, what are you supposed to do? Title deeds of immovable property. Yeah, immovable property means land, building. Correct, na? Right. So in case of land and building, basically, whether it is in the name of the company or is there any dispute, what is it actually? That is supposed to be given. Auditor has to verify it. Auditor generally verifies this point, but still we are emphasizing on this point. My dear auditor, you please verify this and let us know. That is what they wanted to tell. Okay, means what do you do now? Tell me by reading this line. If not, provide the details. They say that's not an issue. But the title deeds of immovable property. Being an auditor, what do you do? What is your action plan? Tell me. Sir, first I will take fixer as a register, sir. Yes, fixer as a register. Yeah, first I will go to land and building schedule, sir. Yes, there is a list of land and buildings, all immovable properties. Okay, got it. Now what do you do? Now I will ask them, sir, give me the agreements. Original agreement copy. If you see this building is in my name means I must be having the original agreement. Right? So now do you have? Correct? Now we'll ask, get me all these original title deeds. Yes, registration documents basically. We'll ask them. They gave, sir, I check, sir, tick, 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 done. Then yes, I ensured that all the buildings, whatever they are in the list, are in the name of the company. Okay, very good. Now I asked the management, or on accountant I asked. They said, no, sir, title deeds, sir. Xerox copy I have, sir. A duplicate copy I have, sir. I don't have the original, sir. Then what do you say? Oh, is it? Will you leave it like that? No, what do you say? Where is it? Correct. If you don't have means, where is it? It must be somewhere, no? Yeah, yeah, sir. It is actually we took a loan on this property. Still, there is a loan. That's why these original documents are with banker. Oh, is it? Then when you give original documents to banker, banker will give an acknowledgement. Yeah, original documents are with us, and the bankers, I mean, whoever the responsible personnel will sign and put a seal, and that acknowledgement must be with the company. Check at least that. Then you be okay with the Xerox copies. Correct. Next, there may be land, maybe some in dispute. Correct. If it is in dispute, are you fighting for it? Correct. Suppose you lost the documents. Have you gone to police station? Have you filed FIR first? Yes, no. See, something is lost. You must have heard, like, what is that? Your friends or somebody must have lost the 10th class certificate I lost. Maybe he was traveling somewhere. Whatever the reason, ignore it. Lost is lost. What is the procedure to get again one more copy? You have to go to first police station, file an FIR. Correct, na? Then only that FIR copy you have to submit it to the respective board. Then they will give you one more copy. Otherwise, you do not get it. Right? The procedure will be there. Have they followed it? It's a property worth of crores and crores also may be there. You cannot just like that leave, na? Correct. Now, sir, but there are so many legal disputes are there in the title. Oh, is it? Then take a legal opinion. Correct. Na? They must have already taken. Look at it. Ensure whether the title deeds are in the name of the company or not. That is the objective. If you find some discrepancies, please give the details to the readers of financial statements. Auditor has to point this out. Okay, that is the matter. Right. Just go through this. Yeah, review, identify immovable property. That's what I told you. The fixed register, you take it from there, you identify. Verify registered sale deed, transfer deeds, whatever it is. If it is leasehold property, okay, fine. Leasehold property means it's not mine. Okay, fine. Yeah, under Ind AS 116 actually. That is IFRS, correct, na? Yeah, ROUA, correct, na? Right of use asset. What is this asset? Right of use asset. Where should be right of use asset? I have taken one building on lease. I am a lessee. E building will be part of my land and building with necessary disclosures. It has to be under the PPE schedule. Are you catching? It is not under somewhere other assets. No, it has to be under PPE. Why, sir? It's given very clearly in 116. What 116 says? If you have bought it, where would have classified it? I would have classified under PPE. Then take this ROUA also under PPE head. Say that it is leasehold property. You have to. Okay, it is not my own, but leasehold. I have given very clearly. I am not cheating them. Leasehold property. Then where is lease deed? Yes, my dear, you have to link the subject with accounting standards, Companies Act, and auditing standards. Then everything, if you link, then it is perfect. Sir, I am reading auditing, so only auditing. I don't say that is a knowledge. You have to link it up. Maybe immediately it is not possible, but yes, it is 100% possible. I always say it is possible to Ravikant means it is possible to you. That's all. 100% possible. For Ravikant only possible. So why not it is for you? 100% it is possible. Think always like that. Got it? Next. If it is leasehold property, what did I say? Leasehold property, lease deed. You lost. Check FIR. Obtain WRL, correct, written representation letter under FA 580, SA 580. Any dispute, yes, take contact legal counsel. What is legal counsel? This is the word used in the standards, basically standards on auditing. Legal counsel means nothing here. Internal legal department. Big companies will have in-house legal department. Yeah, there will be one or two lawyers. Or big companies or many lawyers will be there. What do they do, sir? Here, yeah, there will be writing agreements, legal disputes. They'll be following it up. Correct. There are so many cases. Correct. So many legal disputes are normal for every company. Whichever company you take, there will be some legal disputes. They will be following it up. Correct. Got it? Like so that first you speak to them. You will get to know idea. What is with this? This is sufficient. We discussed more actually on fixed assets. Next point is inventory. Hope you are following. Right. Yeah. Whatever Yeah, this slide, anyhow, this slide and my IPCCMA, whatever I have given, that is obviously given below. Okay, I have given one Google Drive link. You can download it, you can use it. Got it? Right. Inventory. Yeah, when it is inventory related, few points. Read this. Whether physical verification of inventory has been conducted at reasonable intervals by the management. Okay. Is there any material discrepancies noted? Yeah, you conducted. Have you found any differences? Discrepancy means differences. Okay. And have it been accounted properly? Normal. You found difference means you have to account it. No? Difference is that you cannot leave it. No? Unless it is very small things are ignored. That's a different case. But if it is big one, you have to account it. Now come to the point. This is physical verification of what? Inventory, not fixed asset. Fixed asset is already over. Whether physical verification of inventory has been conducted at reasonable intervals by the management. Okay, first, is it reasonable? What is reasonable interval you mean here? So last time you told reasonable intervals means 3 years once. So with respect to inventory also 3 years once, huh? No. Yearly once minimum you are supposed to do it. It is inventory, Guru. Correct, na? It is inventory. Fixed assets, so it won't go anywhere. So once in 3 years if you do also won't be big problem. But inventory, movable, isn't it? Right. So goods will be coming, going. You have to check it. Physical verification has to be done. Sir, physical verification has to be done on 31st March only. Yeah. I want to do on January 31st, sir. Is it okay? Okay, no problem. But yes, you conduct physical verification on January 31st. Whichever December 31st you want to do it, no problem. But just reconcile once again from December 31st to 31st March, just reconciliation. Yeah, I have seen many companies, right? These are US based companies. They're holding companies in US. So they will prepare some set of financial statements for their group reporting. That day they will go for physical verification on December 31st. Let them do it. Yeah, what do I do next? Next time when I go for my statutory audit, physical verification mean inventory from that day to this date. What is the inflow of goods? What is the outflow of goods? I'll reconcile. Is it matching with 31st March? Matching, there is no much discrepancy. Sufficient. I don't need to go and check physically once again on 31st March. I do not need. Once in a year sufficient. Okay, but try to try to do it nearer to the 31st March. Okay, what is nearer means? Okay, 3-4 months, it's not a big issue, you can do it. Hope you understood. Right, reasonable intervals. Next, and who should do it? Management. Whether auditor should do it, is it the responsibility of management or is it the responsibility of auditor? Both are. What do you say? Physical verification, is it whose duty? Management should do, auditor should do, both should do. It is the responsibility of the management. What is auditor responsibility? Auditor should be physically present, that's all. Where is it said? Said under SA 501. If you refer SA 501, you will get to know all these points. Okay, first point, physical verification. He has to be present, he has to comply with SA 501. Not just going there, I'll stand there like this. No. You should check. You should also pick some sample. Correct, na? We used to say tag to floor, floor to tag. Tag means whatever the sheet I have in hand. From sheet to what is there in floor. Floor means physical. Yeah, I'll take one person, one helper. Okay, I'll ask. Sir, my dear, this is A, item A. Here 1000, say not 1050 items are there. Can you please count in front of me? Yeah, that helper will help you. He'll count. I have seen physically. Okay, tick. This is tag to floor. Okay, next word, what we'll say? Floor to tag, we'll say. What is floor to tag? Now I'll say, see, these are items are there physically. Count it, how many are there? Yeah, he counted 25. Okay, here the physically 25 is there. So let me check, is it 25 is there in my record? Some reconciliation process. When you're going not blindly counting, correct na, just observe, is there any items kept aside, inquire with the people, is there any like in a slow moving, not moving, old stock, expired stock. Yeah, it's all part and parcel of inventory physical verification. Stock take people will call stock, correct na? Yes, it is not just counting and coming. Obviously not. Hope my dear, you are supposed to do it. What is that? It is a who has to conduct this? Management. Either should be present and see whether they are conducting properly or not. Ensure that overall completeness. Either should say, sir, in that go down their stock na, why you people have not checked? No, no, sir, somebody is checking. Oh, is it? Then fine. Get me that paper. Who checked this? Who is the responsible person? Yeah, collect the papers. All those papers you collect, because this is your right working paper. SA 230 documentation part. Correct na? Yeah, that is your duty. But who has to get it done? Management has to do it. It's not auditor responsibility. Auditor should observe it. Then all other rules of 501 is supposed to be followed. Got it? If you found some material discrepancy, you found. Stock is there physically, but physically stock generally it won't happen. Okay, stock is there in the books, but it is not there physically. Then value lower, na? Physically stock is not there means what should I do? Value for what is there. That's all. That's it. So then automatically it will have impact on my profit. Inventory is two things. Na? Inventory will have impact on the balance sheet as well as on my profit. It has direct impact on my profit. That's the biggest thing. Okay, right. Chalo, let's go to the third one. This is loans to section 189. Section 189 persons. So who are these 189? If you are CA inter student, you must have not studied this. Yeah, obviously it is not part of your CA inter syllabus. For you, light information is sufficient. If you are CA final, you must have already studied it in depth in your law paper. Correct? Yes. So anyhow, section 189 is nothing but all related parties. Okay. This, have you given loans to section 189 persons? Okay, first means, have you given any loans? Okay, it is not taken loans from them. First remember, it is, understand carefully. I have written red color mein. What is that? It's written here. Has the company granted any loan? Granted means given, not taken. Whether secured or unsecured to those persons means related parties. I've read now onwards. I'll say related parties. Have you given loans to related parties? Yes, sir. Answer. Say example. Okay. Then what are you supposed to check? Yeah, suppose your company, sir, we have not given any loans and advances to any related party. Then you point not there. Go to fourth point, my dear. That's all I'll say. Correct, na? Right. So suppose they gave it. Generally, no. Recently, I went to one real estate company for India's consultancy. Okay, there are crores and crores of loans and advances sitting in that financial statement. To whom you gave? All related parties. Yeah. Do you know what is the rate of interest? 1%, 0%. That's all. That is the rate. Something wrong, no? 1%. At the same time, they have borrowed from ICICI. They have issued debentures and they got the money. That is at 8%, 9%, 10%, something like that. They are, in one hand, they are paying it to banks and outside people for 8%, 9%. Internally, they are giving it for 1%. So much difference, you know. Is it good for the company? Okay, because related party. But there are some points. See, end of the day, related by a subsidiary is related party. I am funding it for my subsidiary. It's not going outside of my company. As a group, we are one and the same, isn't it? So, but doesn't matter. Has the company granted any loans? Right? Yes. If you say, are the terms and conditions prejudicial to the company? The minute you say 1%, 2%, it is prejudicial to the company. Why prejudicial? Prejudicial means something lost to the company, you say. Understanding purpose. Partiality. I'm feeling like being cheated or something like that. Okay, right? Is it prejudicial? Yes. If it is 1%, 0% means prejudicial. Yeah, they will say you pay me after 20 years. 20 years to 1%, correct? The 1% interest, that's it. Coupon rate is just 1%. You have to look into. What else I have to see? Yes, I found it is prejudicial. So what next? Whether the payment of principal and interest are so regular. Payment of interest and principal are so regular. Yeah, so regular means monthly once, sir. It's not monthly once or yearly once. It is as per the agreement. So that means first what? Being an auditor, what are you supposed to do? Read the agreement. Are they making the payments of principal? EMI you can say. Monthly or yearly, whatever installment. Is it happening regularly? Regularly means as per the agreement. Okay, good. If it is correct, na? Right. Obtain the list of loans. Correct. Na? There is the actually 189 is a register wherein all the transactions with what is that with related parties will be recorded. So 189 register, you take it and just inquire, start inquiring, asking questions, correct? Now getting the data of loan agreements and see the dates and amounts, check whether it is actually given or not. Correct? Na? Right. Next, consider the granted. This point you see carefully. Very clearly, I say, I gave a loan to related party. How much? Say 100 crore. Yeah, when you gave, last year I gave. Fine. Current year it is already returned. I mean, they repaid me. Yeah, say 30th 6 2019, I got my money back. Fine. As on 31st March 2020, it is no more. It is not a liability. I mean, it is not an asset in my books because they returned money back. They repaid me. Am I supposed to bother about those items also? Yes, that is what very clearly guided by ICI. Consider those granted and returned in the current year. It may not be a loans and advance on 31st March, but still you are supposed to look into such. You have to comment on those items also, my dear. Examination purpose, these are all very important. They'll twist like this. They will say management is saying auditor need not comment on these loans because these were not outstanding on 31st March. I mean, these were not loans and advances on 31st March. Got it? Then what you will feel? Yeah, it's no more. No, then why should I comment? That doubt will come. That's why if you read this guidance, then only clarity will be there. In small sentence, they may lose the point. Got it? Hope it is useful. Right. Next, terms and conditions. Basically, rate of interest is the condition. Repayment period is the condition. Correct. Na? Any discount you are issuing, those are the conditions. Correct. Na? So rate, security, period, payment terms, these compared with normal market terms. Then only you will get to know is it prejudicial or not prejudicial. Okay, done. Next, so regular means as and when it becomes due as per the agreement. This point I would like to say propriety point. What is propriety? Suppose a point is not given in the car. What do you check? Do you check all these things? They gave 1% loans and advance to somebody. Yeah, in the financial statements very clearly given 1% loans and advance. Will you separately comment on it? No, I don't comment. Why you don't comment? If it is not given in Caro, I don't comment. Because financial statements are true and fair. True and fair means what? What is there in the agreement? Is it given in the financials? Given correctly. Then auditor will not comment. I am doing this because it is said by Caro. I am doing this because it is said by Caro. And auditor should feel like it is like proprietor of the company. Propriety. Government audit, propriety audit you heard must be. It is a propriety point. One time long ago, in CA final they asked one question. What are all the propriety points in Caro? There were 6 points and it was for 6 marks question. If you just mention the point, that's it. No need to explain further. As per Caro, if loans and advances are given to parties, auditor has to verify are these prejudicial norms, is there any prejudicial terms and conditions, are they making regular payments. It was given earlier long ago. I don't remember subsequently, but it was asked one time. You never know what kind of point will be asked. It is propriety. It is being done because it is there. Otherwise, it is not normal audit procedure. Yeah, if the agreement may 1% is given, but if they are saying 10%, that is wrong, then auditor would have commented. 1% agreement, financial statement में 1%. Auditor don't have any rights. Now he has right because it is said in the RO. Hello, understood? Yes. Next. Loans, again same point, further. C point. There are 2 points you said, now C point. If overdue amount is more than for 90 days, what is overdue? First, what is due date? From there 90 days. Say example. So September month interest. They should pay me 10th of October. When should they pay me? 10th of October. Okay, 10th of October they should pay me, but from 10th of October 90 days over. Are you getting my point? Due, from due, then 90 days you should add. Then it is overdue. It is overdue for more than 90 days. Correct now, from 10th of October to 90 days. Let's say January 10th. Yeah, 10th October, November, December, January 10th. Assume 90 days. Don't count now days. Okay, for understanding purpose. It crossed already. Till 31st March they did not pay. And they paid, but it crossed afterwards. Then you are supposed to comment on this. But not only commenting, what is the Caro is saying, state the amount. How much amount was like this? Because if it is small amount also, then readers of financial statement may feel it's okay, ignore, chhod do yaar. Correct, That's it. Next, whether reasonable steps have been taken by the company for recovery. What do you mean by reasonable step? Reasonable step, he said. What is reasonable step? What do you do if you are the company client? What is reasonable step? At least you should send. Whom have you given first loan? Related party. Related party, will you go to court and file a case? Will you go to court and file a case against related my own subsidiary? What is my subsidiary? Subsidiary, me both are same, no? Right. It is not like that. You don't need to file a legal cases are not required. First reminders you send, no? Have they sent reminders? Reminder means, sir, it is due on September 10th. It is already September 30th. Pay me. Something like that. Notice. Small, not legal notice, general notice. Right. That is what. And at the same time, what do you say? Next. Sending reminder. Sending advocate notice. This is also one kind of notice. Okay. Yeah. But nobody will do advocate notice. Fine. If you go and talk to holding company people, they'll say, hey, money will come, sir. Where will it go? Our subsidiary only, Fine, that is fine. But at least have you sent any, what is that, letters or something like that? Okay, sent, sir. Done, sufficient. We can't do much. But yes, legal action not necessary. Legal action not necessary. Remember that. Okay. So overdue. And I told you, payment not made or received on the due date. Perfect. Shall we? Right. This is also propriety. Its entire point is propriety because I told you it's not as per regular audit, my dear. It is done only because it is necessary. Okay, it is required by the CAR. Right. As per general audit, if it is not paid, okay, what do you write? As on 31st March, this is receivable. That's all will write. Auditor will check receivable. How long it is receivable? Why it is not? Why do you need all those things? Auditor no need to verify all these things. Strictly speaking, not required. Correct. They did not pay. Okay, they did not pay. But have I showed it as a receivable or not? Yes. That's it. Interest accrued as per accounting standard 9 or Ind AS, correct, 115. 109. In the interest, Ind AS 109. Accrued perfectly. Effective rate of interest as per Ind AS 109. Has it accounted? This is being done because it is mentioned in CARO. Hope you understood. Right, next. Compliance of section 185, 186.